Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, dear brothers and sisters. Welcome to our first spiritual fireside chat after a little break. Inshallah, tonight we are going to start with the recitation of Surah Al-Rum, chapter 30, and the verses 17 to 21. And then after the recitation, inshallah, we have a beautiful topic for you, the Islamic fundamentals on strengthening marriage, inshallah, by one of our prominent member, Hassan Zeenni, inshallah. But let me put the verses on the screen, and after the recitation, we'll listen to the talk of the night, inshallah. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. فسبحان الله حين تمسون وحين تصبحون وله الحمد في السماوات والأرض وعشيا وحين تظهرون يخرج الحي من الميت ويخرج الميت من الحي ويحيي الأرض بعد موتها وكذلك تخرجون ومن آياته أن خلقكم من تراب ثم إذا أنتم بشر تنتشرون ومن آياته أن خلق لكم من أنفسكم أزواجا لتسكنوا إليها وجعل بينكم مودة ورحمة إن في ذلك لآيات لقوم يتفكرون صدق الله العظيم. Peace be upon all of you, dear brothers and sisters. Now, inshallah, we will hear and listen to a beautiful talk from our beloved brother Hassan Zeenni, inshallah.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, brother Hassan.
I'm trying to share
So, if you go, okay, great. We can see it now.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. And thank you for inviting me, Sheikh Asim. And I'm sure people are wondering what Brother Hassan is going to talk about, what, all of us, those of us who are married, alhamdulillah, we're happily married. So why we need to go over this topic. And you are right. Those of us who's been married, we don't need much things to be taught, but it's good to be reminded sometimes of fundamentals through the Quranic lenses. However, I believe post-pandemic, especially a year and a half, too many things happened, and there were a lot of external forces that had a great impact on the relationship between husband and wife. So I'm hoping today is but a reminder, and if, alhamdulillah, you are so certain and so secure about your relationship with your spouse, great. But if you look around your friends, your relatives, people who might need a reminder or two, that'll be great. So this is more like a reminder of certain Quranic values that are instrumental in shaping our relationship. My talk tonight is not to cover everything Islam talked about this relationship. Islam has an abundance of recommendations and moral values, but I picked a few things, inshallah, hoping this will be a reminder. And then for those who are interested, you could jump into the Quran and the teaching of the Prophet, the authentic teaching of the Prophet, where you could learn more about certain, the guidance, how to strengthen the relationship. So I'll start with the beginning. We hear a lot that marriage is an institution. What does that mean? When we look at the Quran, and the Quran talks about marriage, that it is a solemn pledge. It's, Surah An-Nisa, chapter 4, verse 21. And the Quran is talking about how she has received a more solemn pledge from you, meaning from the man. And mithaqan ghalidha, that's something that is very serious. And when we talk about the seriousness of this institution, why we call it institution, primarily because most of us, when we step in, if not the majority of us, when we step into marriage, we step in with our own personality, our own identity, and then she steps in with her own. And now you have two different individuals trying to make partnership and trying to make a life together. On that path, in this institution, there's so much to learn, so much space for growth. I learn how to deal with my ego, with my stubbornness, with my emotions, with my temper. I learn how to deal with my love, how to love and how to be loved, how to become selfish, and become more selfless. I learn from my mistakes. We make a lot of mistakes along the way in this institution, and we learn from it. Both sides will learn from it. So you see, it is a space where it will help us grow and help us improve of who we are, help us become a better individuals, provided if this institution is healthy, which I will talk about that later on, inshallah. So Allah from the beginning, when He says mithaqan ghalidha, something that it is to be taken seriously, it is something hard to break. Something ghalidh, that means it's hard to dismantle or to break. So with that in mind, it's always good to have the proper frame of mind when you look at this relationship. The second important thing that Islam does remind us that these are two different individuals, two different genders. You have male and female. وَلَيْسَ الذَّكَرُ كَالْأُنْثَى, chapter 3, verse 36. And while in the 70s and the 80s, people couldn't say that there are differences between male and female, because at that time there was the revolution, and female and women were trying to get equal rights, equal pay, and equal treatment in the society. So anything that can distract from that focus, which is different, was not allowed. So it would be politically incorrect. But as time progressed, and then the movement, the feminist movement, became a little stronger and more secure of itself, then the door opened up, and then there was a lot of research, a lot of discussions, and a lot of analysis about the male and female. And all you have to do, go on Google, and you will find out there is plenty of differences that between male and female in the way they think, in the way their emotions, and not just physiology and biology, but also emotionally and intellectually as well. So while we share a lot in common, but again, there are a lot of differences between male and female. And this is very important, because when the Prophet ﷺ said, and it was narrated Imam Ahmad and Tirmidhi and Abu Dawood, that the female are the other half of the male. Shaq means when you split something into two. So in other words, is the Prophet ﷺ in this beautiful, succinct hadith that we complement one another. They are different. My wife is different than I am. I'm different than her. And this is good. And this is what the Prophet is saying is, Allah has created us. She has qualities I don't have, and I have qualities she doesn't have. And we need each other qualities to compete, to complete one another. Because in this institution and the journey of life, as we're both trying to grow and we're both trying to really strive to be the best we can and to be the people of the falah, the people of success in this life, so we can be successful in the hereafter, we need one another. And I always, like I've given this example at the khutbah, it happens, I see it a lot, and it happens to me a lot. A lot of times we men are talking about a story, and then we are talking about the big picture. So we are, we talk about the date, whether it's Monday or Tuesday, it doesn't matter for us. Whether it's 11 o'clock or 1 o'clock, it doesn't matter. But when I am telling the story, a lot of times my wife is correcting the specifics, the details. And so my attention to the big picture and her attention to the details are important, because you need the details to be specific. And a lot of times the devil are in the details, as they say, and you need the big picture. Otherwise, you are fragmented and you're all over the place. So you see, Allah had given quality to me and quality to my wife, where they need each other. They need one another to compete, not to compete, sorry, to complete one another. So when we go into this institution and knowing that we are different, rather than trying to correct one another or to fix one another or trying to change one another, that would be a big mistake. This is how Allah created that opposite sex, because, as I said, in order for them to complete one another, not to compete with one another, but rather to complete one another. And I think, unfortunately, a lot of times we walk into this relationship, into this institution, wanting her to be like me, and she wants him to be like her, or she wants to change him and he wants to change her. And I believe this is not the Islamic way, and it's not what the Quran and the Prophet are reminding us. So this is, again, it's an important reminder. Now we go into the foundation. How do you build a healthy marriage? And this goes, brothers and sisters, not just for those who are newlywed, but even I've been married for 3 decades. And every time I reflect on this verse and the verses to come, it's always good to remember what we are all about, what Islam is all about, what our faith is all about. And there's always a space for improvement. For those of us who married for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, trust you and me, there are always room for us to grow in that relationship, in our relationship. So this verse, we hear it a lot. It is chapter 30, verse 21. And among his signs is this, that he created for you mates from among yourselves, that you may dwell in tranquility with them. And he has put love and mercy between your hearts. Verily, in that are signs for those who reflect. Now, in my humble opinion, this is only a divine can give such prescription in such succinct way. This is the miracle of marriage, but it is more the how you say, I mean, it's his divine recommendations. And we should really take it to heart and take each one and reflect on it. Because of time, I hope I am inviting each and every one of you to really Asim?
Yes.
Okay, I'm still with you guys, right?
Yes, inshallah.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay.
So this verse is talking about that among his sign, the signs which is always indicative of the power and the wisdom and the attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the signs of God manifest different attributes of Allah. This miraculous relationship between husband and wife, between two different two different individuals with different qualities. Allah has created in that institution ability for us to come together, but He is guiding us. How do you make this relationship strong and healthy and wholesome? So these are the three things that litaskunu, peace, and I'll elaborate, mawadda, which is love, and ar-rahma, which is mercy and grace. Now we'll talk about al-sakina, litaskunu. Sakina is peace, brothers and sisters. And I don't need to tell those of us who've been married for a while that you always want to have peace at home. You don't, even when you have disagreement, different of opinions, always make sure that it doesn't escalate. And if you feel, with all honesty, and especially for us, for both of us, the couple, if you feel that you are not in control of your emotions, you are about to lose it, you are, you're getting agitated, you're getting frustrated to the point where you're not in control of what comes out of your mouth, you're not in control of the tone of your voice. And that happens a lot. Again, especially of us who've been married for a long time, this happens. But what the Quran is highlighting is make sure that you are in control of your emotions. What happens is if you reach a point and you're about to lose that control, my recommendation is call time out. And there's something that I said in my khutbah last time, and I didn't start with, I'm not an expert in marriage. I'm not a therapist, I'm not a psychologist. The only thing I am is someone who's been married for a long time and someone who has been exposed, luckily for me, and I've been fortunate, has been exposed to a lot of healthy marriages. People in our community, leaders in our community who've been married for 50 and 60 years. And more you look at them, more you see the peace is so clear in their relationship. Even when they have disagreement, the way they disagree, it is very, it's a very civil. So this is a very important thing. You're about to lose your emotion, call for timeout. But, and I am assuming none of us, alhamdulillah, on this tonight are abusive in any way. But I just want to remind us, because probably you are not, or you haven't experienced abuse, but probably you know of others that they are experiencing abuse. And unfortunately, we're not immune to the physical abuse that we hear about in our community, because it is part of the culture, part of this male chauvinist culture in the United States and in the world. One thing I wanted to say, I challenge you to go and study the seerah of the Prophet. And Aisha was very clear. She said, may Allah be pleased with her, she said that the Prophet ﷺ never laid a finger on any of his wives or his children or his servant or anyone. And trust you and me, the Prophet didn't, anybody who studied the seerah, his life wasn't always rosy and shiny. For the most part, yes, it was. But there were moments when things were, as they say, trouble in paradise. Things were not, a complete peace and love in the household of the Prophet. There were two major incidents that took place that the Quran had to intervene. And some of the Muslims, they really misread that verse that, well, that you can hit your wife, but don't harm her, which is really against the core values of a human dignity that Islam came to elevate all in the sight of the Creator to be equal footing, and then you come and you say you can go and hit her. The Prophet ﷺ never laid a finger, and I challenge you, don't take my word for it, just do your research. And there were moments that he could have, well, this is the Quran, if he understood it, but he did not, because daraba has about 17 different meanings in Arabic, and the Prophet never understood it, as some of our scholars have said in the past, that you can go ahead and you strike her if you feel there's need for it. Astaghfirullah, this is not the teaching of the Prophet ﷺ, nor the teaching of Islam. So any abuse, whether physical or emotional or verbal, is the red line. It is unacceptable Islamically, in the household, and it violates as-sakina, which is the peace. So I think I think that's pretty clear. Love, I believe, the only thing I would say about love, we all love to be loved, and to love and to be loved. And the golden rule in humanity, not only in Islam, in humanity, in any religion or any discipline or any philosophy, that to love for your brother what you love for yourself, and تحب لأخيك ما تحب لنفسك. They call it golden rule. So the way you like to be loved, the way you like to be treated, also make sure that you want to treat your other half the way they like to be treated. In other words, is find out what love means to her, or what love means to him. Love means to you probably, to say love you, probably to someone else to say, I need chocolate, I need, I need flowers. It only depends. It's always good to explore what really, how your other side defines love. I think this is very important. And I think the only thing is, as the Prophet ﷺ said, when you love someone, make sure you share it with them. When someone does something good, a lot of times we take our spouse for granted. The wife takes her husband for granted. After 34 years of marriage, he knows I love him. No, he doesn't. You should tell him. And then he, she knows, she does all the things she does for him. And then when you ask him, have you been grateful? Have you expressed your gratefulness to her? No, she knows I appreciate her. No, the Prophet ﷺ made it very clear, "Man lam yashkur al-nas, lam yashkur Allah." This is a core important value in our faith. So in other words, there are certain things that we need to invest into love, because love is more like a seed, and it needs a fertile soil. So when you have peace at home, it is that fertile soil. And love, well, you put it in the right soil, but you still have to enrich it. You still have to nurture it. You still have to, like you do, you add water and you cultivate and you plow, and the seed doesn't become a tree and bear fruits without hard work. So as love. So I think that we talked about love. Let me go to, so far we talked about peace, we talked about love. The last one, in my opinion, is, unfortunately, I'm going to respect time, but it is the one that I invite you to really ponder on and reflect, which is mercy. And Allah has left it to the end for a purpose. Mercy is, we all know what mercy means. We hear it in our khutbahs, in our talk, but to execute, to live mercy and to express it and to make it part of your life, especially at time of difficulties, especially at time where the relationship has been shaken by a great event. Inshallah, I hope most of us don't reach that point, but let's just say that there are external or internal event that has shaken this institution. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says this is mercy comes in. And the best example of mercy, there are plenty of examples, but the best one is the Battle of Uhud, when Muslims were badly defeated, and the archers defied the command of the Prophet ﷺ, and really that led to the devastation of the army. So that shook the Muslims at core. 70 some Sahabis were killed, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala come to the Prophet and tell him, فَبِمَا رَحْمَةٍ اللَّهِ لِنْتَ لَهُمْ. By the grace of God that you were linta, you were tender and gentle and loving. وَلَوْ كُنْتَ فَضْلًا غَلِيظَ الْقَلْبِ. But if you were harsh and rude and mean, لَنْفَضُّوا مِنْ حَوْلِكَ. They will disperse from you. And here comes the prescription that I will leave you with. فَاعْفُ عَنْهُمْ وَاسْتَغْفِرْ لَهُمْ وَشَاوِرْهُمْ فِي الْأَمْرِ. فَاعْفُ عَنْهُمْ means erase what they've done. Erase. This is how you express mercy, is when you are capable of punishing someone, and you're capable and you have the right to bring justice to the matter. Allah is saying is, no, in order for this institution to flourish, mercy is the place to go. He didn't say al-adl, he said mercy. So erase what they've done. Number two is وَاسْتَغْفِرْ لَهُمْ. Pray for them. Who do you pray for? You pray for people who you care for. But also when you pray, means you are inviting Allah into the relationship. And anytime Allah is part of something, it is blessed. So Allah wants you to bring Him into that troubled time, in that paradise, in that institution. وَشَاوِرْهُمْ فِي الْأَمْرِ. Don't cut the communication, especially for us men. When we tend to get angry, agitated, frustrated, we stop talking. This is not the Islamic recommendation. Here is saying is engage them, talk to them, make sure that the communication doesn't stop. And this is, brother and sister, with that, I will wrap up. I hope today was but a reminder for us who've been married for a long time, that we should guard the peace as much as we can, and we should keep on investing into love as much as we can, and we should make sure that mercy cast our life as much as we can. That mercy has the prescription that we should always be ready to erase the wrong. For female, a lot of times you don't forget. And for us, we don't forget. Here the Quran is saying is both of you should forget. Second is bring Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala into the relationship, bring Him in, and He's to be the third. Not you won't be only you and her alone in this difficult time of the relationship, but it is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is with you, and we all know the blessing that it comes with. And وَشَاوِرْهُمْ, and keep the relationship, keep the dialogue, keep the communication open. I hope, inshallah, this will be only an eye-opener. How do we strengthen this beautiful institution called marriage, and trust you and me, brother and sister? I'll leave you with that thought. Neither you or her, neither I or my wife, neither husband or wife can grow intellectually, emotionally, spiritually, unless this institution is wholesome, stable, and healthy, and very positive. And inshallah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will bless us all. If there are any questions, Brother Asim, I'll be more than happy to take them, and let me know.
Thank you so much for this beautiful talk, Brother Hassan. I don't see any question, but I have a question, if you don't mind.
Please.
So, yeah, you said that you've been married for 3 decades. Alhamdulillah. It's a beautiful relationship, as far as I see, as you mentioned.
Alhamdulillah.
So if you were to give only one advice, I know there are so many things to say, but just one advice from your experience for newly married people, what would be that one advice?
Well, I'll tell you a short story. I'll give you two, but I'll tell you the golden rule. I was my first year of marriage. I was on my honeymoon. I went on a cruise, and on the cruise, there was some problem with the weather, so they put us in a hall just to keep us busy. And they saw a couple who's been married over 60 years, 60 years. But the man looked pretty healthy, looked young, vibrant, energy, happy. So they brought the microphone to him and told him, "What is your secret?" He paused and he said, "Yes, dear." I have to tell you, you will never win an argument with your wife. So yes, dear is the best thing. The second one is, and I really hope nobody will be upset with me, but for us men, always be ready to say, "I'm sorry."
Great.
Don't just, "Yes, dear." They always, they really invest so much emotion into the relationship. And it's best. I love what the man said. And I'm telling you, after 30 years of marriage, I am very, very happy. Alhamdulillah. I'm very blessed with a great wife, and Allah has been generous with that. But nonetheless, I love that. "Yes, dear."
That's a great advice.
Don't go into an argument. Don't do it. "Yes, dear." And then most of the time we are wrong. I said, "I'm sorry," and that's it.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Brother Hassan. So, inshallah, we're going to continue with our spiritual fireside chat every Thursday at 9 p.m. And next Thursday, my guest is going to be Salam Al-Marayati, and he will be talking about why the mosque. So please join us. And then the message of the Quran is going to be on Monday. Again, on behalf of all of our attendees, I would like to thank Brother Hassan for this beautiful talk and the word of wisdom. Thank you. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone.
Alaikum salam. So I'm going to call the adhan and we will pray Salat al-Asha, inshallah.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله اللهم رب هذه الدعوة التامة والصلاة القائمة آت محمدا الوسيلة والفضيلة والدرجة الرفيعة وابعثه مقاما محمودا الذي وعدته إنك لا تخلف الميعاد الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله الله أكبر سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين فبما رحمة من الله لنت لهم ولو كنت فظا غليظ القلب لانفضوا من حولك فاعف عنهم واستغفر لهم وشاورهم في الأمر فإذا عزمت فتوكل على الله إن الله يحب المتوكلين إن ينصركم الله فلا غالب لكم وإن يخذلكم فمن ذا الذي ينصركم من بعده وعلى الله فليتوكل المؤمنون. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. آمين. وما كان لنبي أن يغل ومن يغل يأت بما غل يوم القيامة ثم توفى كل نفس ما كسبت وهم لا يظلمون. أفمن اتبع رضوان الله كمن باء بسخط من الله ومأواه جهنم وبئس المصير. هم درجات عند الله والله بصير بما يعملون. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. تحيات لله والصلوات. السلام عليكم وعلى عباد الله الصالحين. الله أكبر. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. التحيات لله والصلوات. ولا إله. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. استغفر الله، استغفر الله، استغفر الله العظيم الذي لا إله إلا هو. اللهم أنت السلام ومنك السلام، تبارك يا ذا الجلال والإكرام. سبحان الله والحمد لله ولا إله إلا الله والله أكبر، ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الله لا إله إلا هو الحي القيوم، لا تأخذه سنة ولا نوم، له ما في السماوات وما في الأرض. من ذا الذي يشفع عنده إلا بإذنه، يعلم ما بين أيديهم وما خلفهم، ولا يحيطون بشيء من علمه إلا بما شاء. وسع كرسيه السماوات والأرض، ولا يؤوده حفظهما، وهو العلي العظيم. سبحان الله، 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 سبحان الله. سبحان الله، سبحان الله، سبحان الله. الحمد لله، الحمد لله، الحمد لله. الحمد لله، الحمد لله، الحمد لله، الحمد لله. الله أكبر، 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 الله. لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، له الملك وله الحمد، يحيي ويميت وهو على كل شيء قدير. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على رسولنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. اللهم ابسط علينا من بركاتك ورحمتك وفضلك ورزقك. O Allah, bestow on us from your blessings, mercy, grace and provisions. اللهم إنا نسألك الهدى. اللهم إنا نسألك النعيم المقيم الذي لا يحول ولا يزول. O Allah, we ask you for the eternal delights that never ends or fades away. اللهم حبب إلينا الإيمان وزينه في قلوبنا، وكره إلينا الكفر والفسوق والعصيان واجعلنا من الراشدين. O Allah, make faith dear to us and beautified in our hearts, and make disbelief, sin and disobedience disliked to us, and make us among the rightly guided. اللهم إنا نسألك الهدى والتقى والعفاف والغنى. O Allah, we ask you for guidance, taqwa, virtue, and sufficiency. اللهم يا مقلب القلوب ثبت قلوبنا على دينك وطاعتك. O Allah, you are the controller of the hearts. Turn our hearts to your religion and obedience. اللهم أرنا الحق حقا وارزقنا اتباعه، وأرنا الباطل باطلا وارزقنا اجتنابه. O Allah, show us the truth as true and inspire us to follow it, and show us falsehood as falsehood and inspire us to abstain from it. Allahumma ashfi mardana warham mawtana. O Allah, please give quick healings for those who are sick, and please have mercy upon those who passed away before us. Allahumma ighfir lil mu'minina wal mu'minat wal muslimina wal muslimat al-ahya'i minhum wal amwat innaka sami'un qaribun mujibud da'awat. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. آمن الرسول بما أنزل إليه من ربه والمؤمنون كل آمن بالله وملائكته وكتبه ورسله لا نفرق بين أحد من رسله وقالوا سمعنا وأطعنا غفرانك ربنا وإليك المصير لا يكلف الله نفسا إلا وسعها لها ما كسبت وعليها ما اكتسبت ربنا لا تؤاخذنا إن نسينا أو أخطأنا ربنا ولا تحمل علينا إصرا كما حملته على الذين من قبلنا ربنا ولا تحملنا ما لا طاقة لنا به واعف عنا واغفر لنا وارحمنا أنت مولانا فانصرنا على القوم الكافرين صدق الله العظيم سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين الفاتحة بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept our prayers, our du'as, dear brothers and sisters. Thank you so much for joining us. And tomorrow is Friday, Blessed Friday, inshallah. And our khatib is going to be Omar Richi. The program is going to start at 12:45 with Quranic recitation, and the khutbah starts at 1 p.m. And join us. So in person, we don't have registration, but I think up to first 80 people, we are, open for our brothers and sisters. And then also, I would like to remind you that our weeknight programs are going to be on Mondays and Thursdays. Mondays, the message of the Quran at 9 p.m., no longer on Wednesday. So we moved this program to Mondays. And on Thursdays, the spiritual fireside chat. Today was the first, tonight was the first program. And inshallah, next Thursday, my guest is going to be Salam al-Marayati. And his title is, or his theme is, Why the Mosque? So please join us, inshallah. Until then, have a great night. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. See you, inshallah.